Moon. Right. And then there's that. What planet is that?
That is not a planet. That, says the United States, is a giant Chinese spy balloon.
I am here in Billings, Montana.
Floating some 60,000 feet above the state of Montana.
It's been there stationary for about the last 35 minutes.
In fact, the US has been tracking the balloon for several...
And yeah, folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalists. This is the greatest crisis in terms of the United States sovereignty, the right to control your own borders, your own airspace, since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis was missiles in Cuba. This is a Chinese aircraft floating over Montana. Do you understand what we're talking about here? How serious this is? And you're looking at China already did strike first, and it won this one. By this I mean, this is an aircraft, a Chinese aircraft floating. It's not floating, it's flying. This is controlled. It's flying all over United States territory, and it's allowed to do so. Now, the news could probably have been a lot less bad if it had been, yes, the United States Air Force just brought down a Chinese aircraft. Seems to be a spy balloon, and it was entering our territory. Well, that was not the case, and that's why China already won this one. Because the world sees that China can get away with flying their ships over the United States. And the reaction couldn't have been worse. If you look at some of the headlines, this is from Fox. International incident. Yeah, you can say that. China maintains key claim about suspected spy balloon and hurls an accusation at the U.S. Bursting bubbles. National security experts settle whether the U.S. has legal right to shoot down balloon. Are you fucking kidding me? Is that something you even have to debate? What country with any kind of sovereignty has no right to defend itself from a hostile nation flying an enemy ship, an enemy vessel over your territory? Of course you can shoot it down. That should have been the headline. We brought down a Chinese ship flying over our territory. Don't ever do that again, or this is war. No, you're allowing it to spy on you. I mean, even if you know what it's doing, even if you know that China has satellites flying all over the world, including the United States, and they can take all the photographs that they want. Now, is this necessary so as to fly this low, so as to get even further data from military base? I mean, I cannot even believe I'm saying it right now, but does China need to fly this close to gather more information from American military bases? Maybe they do, but let's use some very basic elemental common sense here. It's one thing to fly satellites, it's one thing to have actual spies in US, which they do, and the United States has spies in China, and most countries have men and women operating all over the world. This is different. This is something that even if you need to fly this close to spy on the United States, you know it's visible. You know that the United States government will see this. You know that it's not just the United States government that will know about this. This is the average American on the street will see that you're flying a Chinese ship, a Chinese aircraft over their territory across Montana. They will see that with their own eyes, right? And they knew this would be the case from the moment they made the decision to fly this ship all over the world, across Canada, into the United States. What does this show you? Well, United States has what? No way of controlling their airspace? Is that it? They allowed it to go in? They didn't allow it to go in, and it did anyway. It is there right now. So that is something you can no longer argue against. This is the most damaging thing. This image is the weapon in this spy ship, in this Chinese ship. This is the weapon. It's not a nuclear bomb that it has and they're about to drop it. No, it's not even a nuclear or biological weapon that this thing has. I mean, how could you even know what's inside that thing? But that's not the weapon. The weapon is this photograph. The weapon is this video that the entire world is watching right now, this international incident. China flies their own aircrafts, their own ships over U.S. soil, in U.S. airspace, and it gets away with it. It is very damaging. This is, the way I see it, it's worse than a Cuban Missile Crisis. At least those missiles were still in Cuba. This is already in U.S. soil, in U.S. territory. Right? That is the most damaging. And the reaction could not have been worse. Timid, scared, doubtful, uncertain, weak. That's the only way the rest of the world sees the United States right now. China is flying a fucking balloon the size of 2 or 3 buses. It looks like a damn satellite with a freaking ovni attached to it, like a UFO attached to it. It is insane. Why is it? And this is not like a commercial flight. It has an incident. There's an emergency, and you have to deviate to U.S. airspace because 100 people could die. And yeah, you communicate, you get in touch. Yes, we have this ship, we have this plane. Oh yeah, land here. We're all okay with that. The rational human beings, we're all fine with that. No one expects you to down an Airbus or whatever the hell it is. But this is an enemy aircraft in your territory, flying across your country. Why are you allowing this? Even if you know fully well whatever it's spying and you're using some 4D chess tactics, there's no freaking 4D chess tactics that lessens the damage of this ship flying over your territory. China getting away with sticking this over your head. And it's not only the international community watching this, it's your own people. It's Americans watching. You go like this and, oh yeah, that is China over my head right now. It could have a bomb. It could just be spying on me. It could release some biological weapon. Who knows? But yeah, that is China over my head. That is the weapon, that is the payload that this ship has, and it has just been delivered. Folks, prepare as always, because we are living in times in which these things we thought would not happen again. Just like Russia invading Ukraine. We don't do like this. We don't do this anymore. We're civilized now. We negotiate. We debate. We have political discussions and commercial relations, and we settle our differences in other ways. We don't invade another country. We don't send a ship into another country, into their own airspace, spying on their military bases in the open, in front of everyone. We have a little bit more of respect, and we have our spies, and we have our satellites, but we don't fly a fucking giant balloon over your country for everyone to see, and we just say, yeah, fuck it. What are you doing about it? Poking the United States into reacting, and unfortunately, it couldn't have reacted worse by doing nothing. See you on our next video, guys. Take care.